talking about the history of Valentine's Day. Oh, what joy. Why do I choose to bring such ruckus and such, I don't know, spicy topic on Valentine's Day? I don't know. I just wanted to know, and I didn't want to ruin my V-Day yet. Because normally when I research these pagan holidays, it don't be but a crap. It just be a bunch of BS. If you know what Valentine's Day started from, put it in the chat. And if you don't, you're in the right place. We talk about the real history of Valentine's Day, pagan rituals, power, and rebranding love. Now, I'm all for Valentine's Day. I got engaged on Valentine's Day, a special day before I became Dr. Chieftess Sunflower. So today, it's the first day I'm actually digging into this, and I'm allowing you to join me on my research journey about Valentine's Day. Now, some people probably don't know what I'm about to dig into, and I don't know it either. So we're going to be learning together, and that's what this podcast is all about. We debunk the history. Every holiday that I've researched so far has sent me into, I don't know, what the hell? So I'm expecting what the hells as I learn about Valentine's Day. Of course, it's not the thing that we know it to be today, but either way, hope you spreading love every single day. Did y'all ever wonder why February 14th became the day of love? If you like me and you need G, then you probably have, or you probably already know how it became the day of love. Why February 14th became the day of love. Who chose that date? That's what we want to know. Why hearts? Why red? Why Cupid? A naked baby with a weapon. But who chose Cupid and a naked baby with a weapon? I don't know. But what if I told you Valentine's didn't start with just roses? It started with blood. I knew we was gonna go down this road, but whatever. Sometimes you gotta go down these weird roads to learn the truth. So that we aren't ever bamboozled. What's going on, Joseph High Smith? Happy Valentine's Day. Valentine's, of course, started with blood. Most of the pagan holidays, they have been rebranded to really get money from people. Can we just tell the truth? It's all about money. Love should be spread every day. If you're married, whatever, you should be loving on each other every single day. Now, maybe today we treat this extra special, but I don't know what we're going to uncover. I'm just taking my time with this topic too, because Roman rituals, saints, church power, and capitalism. How does this have anything to do with Valentine's Day? I don't know. So the first thing that we are researching, it says the pagan roots of Valentine's Day started with Lupercalia. What the fuck is that? What is Lupercalia? I don't know. Let's find out. Before Valentine's Day, there was Lupercalia. Have y'all ever heard of Lupercalia? That is Lupercalia. Lupercalia. So obviously Valentine's Day used to be called Lupercalia in Rome. Because y'all know all of these pagan holidays, this pagan religion, even the Bible, these things were instituted by the Romans. Now, they stole the roots of the Bible from Ethiopia and different places, and they put it into a list. This was Constantine back in 313 who legalized the Bible, or he legalized Christianity. And then they created the Bible after they had legalized Christianity to control the state. This is all over there in Rome. But that is something different. But some kind of way I know it ties to this because it's the Roman people again. Who would have knew? We're doing a Roman holiday. That's what Valentine's Day is coming from. The Romans, these are colonizers. We got that part? So Lupercalia was an ancient Roman festival celebrated February 13th to February the 15th. So it honored Faunus, Roman god of fertility and agriculture, and the legendary founders of Rome, Romulus and Remus. Valentine's Day is basically a holiday to celebrate the Roman gods that they created, the Roman god of fertility and agriculture. This was before they colonized the United States. But here's the part most Hallmark cards don't mention. Goats and dogs were sacrificed during Lupercalia. So what else would happen during Lupercalia? Young men would strip naked. What? They would cut strips from the animal hides and then run through the streets, striking women with them. This is getting weird already, y'all. This is getting weird. I gotta read that again. It said during Lupercalia. I don't know how this got anything to do with love. Wait a minute. That just threw me all the way off. So Lupercalia, which is what Valentine's Day used to be called when Romans created this holiday, and it was celebrated for 3 days, not one day, and it was from February the 13th to the 15th, and it celebrates Faunus, the Roman god of fertility and agriculture, and the founders of Rome. But the weird thing is, they were sacrificing goats and dogs. The young men would strip naked, and they would cut strips from the animal hides, then run through the street striking women with them. I don't understand that shit at all. But it says why. Because it was believed to promote fertility and easy childbirth. It kind of reminds me of Christopher Columbus, and when all of these pirates and immigrants came to Turtle Island and they created all of these different lies about what they thought about science. It's just weird. So it was considered romantic in their eyes. Getting totally weird. This wasn't about candlelight dinners like it is today. You probably booked a reservation, going to dinner, got some hearts, but I don't know. Back then it was about fertility, survival, agriculture, reproduction, and ritual. So we already see that Valentine's Day has roots in fertility rites and not soft love. Yeah. But where does this change? So that was the beginning of how it started. It was called y'all remember Lupercalia, right? And then it changed to Saint Valentine. This is when the church got involved with Valentine's Day. You will find a lot of the church involvement when it comes to these holidays. And I'm not talking about the church as we know it right now. I'm talking about Roman Catholic Church and the Pope and papal bulls and people who are basically saying if you weren't part of the church, and white might I add, then you weren't really human, and that they could basically seize you, unalive you, and they control your soul. And then if you didn't convert to their religion with the church, then they could just take your soul according to their God in the name of their Lord, remember. So we're going to fast forward to the 3rd century. If you don't know what the 3rd century is, this is going to be the years of 200 AD, right? This is before they made Christianity legal in 313 CE. This is before Constantine started. This is before the Bible, really, right? That's disgusting. Facts. It's disgusting behavior that we celebrate and we don't even know. That's why it is so important to know history, not just from today, but going back to the 2nd and the 1st and the 3rd century that they tried to restart time with. Right now, we fast forwarding from Lupercalia and we go into the 3rd century, which is the 200s, to talk about what happened to Lupercalia. A lot of the times when they started time over at 0, they wanted to get rid of a lot of the crazy rituals and disgusting things that they were doing and the animal-like behavior, such as, like we said, sacrificing dogs and goats and running naked and getting drunk and doing drugs and being dirty and y'all know. I'm sorry, y'all know what I'm talking about. So they were trying to get away from that, so that's why they had to clutch on to the church and try to hide the church, will hide their evil under the church, which is why a lot of people are lost right now, because they put everything that was good and they turned it evil. And they put everything that was evil into what's good. And that's what we call the matrix. When you be like, damn, they got me. They bamboozled me. Right? So Saint Valentine, this is where Valentine's Day come in at. And they get a little funny. It said there were multiple Saint Valentines. There were multiple. More than one. The Catholic Church, what do I know? The Catholic Church, here your ass go again. Always involved with something. Y'all really should just name yourself the Catholic demons at this point. So the Catholic Church recognizes at least 2 martyrs named Valentine. The most popular legend says under Emperor Claudius II, young men were forbidden to marry because unmarried soldiers were considered better warriors. Valentine was a Christian priest? Oh my God, what the Valentine was a Christian priest, secretly performed marriages anyways. He was arrested and executed around 269 AD. Wait, so y'all got a holiday named after somebody, y'all, who was a priest that y'all unalive because he was marrying soldiers because... What? So confused. Before his execution, the legend says he wrote a note signed "From Your Valentine." And Wow. The church had a problem. Lupercalia was wildly popular. We just talked about Lupercalia. Yes, the irony, right? They tried to erase it. Just like Christmas. Christmas used to be called Saturnalia. Thanksgiving, this was the day that they unalive all of our people and renamed us and stuff. That everything that is celebrated as a holiday normally stems from some type of evil ritual, right? Which is what we're finding out about Valentine's Day. It says Lupercalia was wildly popular. They tried to erase it, but they couldn't. They had to replace it. This is where Valentine's Day comes from. All right, so it says they replaced Lupercalia with Valentine's Day after they unalived this man and made it a holiday. What the hell? That's weird. So, around the 5th century, pleasure to listen to you. Thank you. Around the 5th century, Pope Gelasius I officially replaced Lupercalia. Now think about this. This is all the way in the 5th century. So all the way up into the 5th century, they were doing all those sacrifices, running the street naked as a ritual from the 13th of February to the 15th. Weird as hell. And they got us celebrating this. I'm sorry. So, during the 5th century, this is a pope again. These are the same popes now that created the papal bulls. These are the same popes that created all these evil things that seize land, eminent domain. The same popes are creating these evil holidays and changing and rebranding things. So remember that. This is a pope who did this. He replaced Lupercalia with Saint Valentine's Day. The same time of year, with new branding and Christian overlay. Crazy, right? Here's the twist. Valentine's Day wasn't originally about romantic love. The shift happened much later. So even then, when it was St. Valentine's Day in the 5th century, it still wasn't about love how we think about it today. No way, these people are crazy. Facts. If you look up any holiday, you're going to find out it's crazy. But what do? We here in America, we just look at it for the now. We look at a lot of things for the now. That's why we always stuck in the matrix. Cause it's like, well, that was so long ago. Why do I care? But for me, I care because this has a lot to do with us spending money, us doing the same thing year after year. We worshiping people who dead. Valentine is somebody who was murdered. You get what I'm saying? It's evil, right? Valentine's Day wasn't originally about romantic love. That shift happened much later. In the Middle Ages, writers like Geoffrey Chaucer connected February 14th to courtly love and bird mating season. This is getting a little weird. Poetry made it romantic. Literature made it dreamy. And then the press printing made it viral, right? So that's the history of basically Valentine's Day. In some kind of way in 1913, y'all. Now, 1913 is interesting because this is the year they started with taxing and trying to prevent us from really making wealth and starting to destroy all the melanated Wall Street. So they started to create these holidays because they still wanted to extract money from us. So 1913, everybody has heard of the company Hallmark. Hallmark began mass producing Valentine's Day cards. Now this shift the holiday from fertility ritual. Remember, they were sacrificing goats and dogs and all of that. Religious martyr, all that stuff to now carts and candy and billions of dollars spent annually for flowers, jewelry, chocolate, social media pressure, relationship comparison. Cupid comes from Eros, the Greek god of desire. Some people don't know that. This is again a pagan root. The Greek god of desire. So even the symbols of love trace back before Christianity, guys. So we are actually celebrating today. Made money out of it. Facts. It's all about money at this point. We are actually celebrating Saint Valentine, where they took off Saint, which was a pope who was murdered for marrying soldiers against the law. I don't know why he was doing it, but he was marrying the soldiers against the law. They unalived him, and then they made a holiday after him. And they made this holiday in the name of an older holiday, which was evil. It's all very weird. So when you are celebrating these pagan holidays, you got to remember these are pagan rituals, wicked facts. This is church rebranding. This is literary romanticism and corporate monetization. So Valentine's Day is truly layered. It comes from immigrant culture. It has a lot of symbolisms that we don't really pay attention to right now, and capitalism is always involved. This isn't about attacking love. This is about understanding the narrative. It's really just the pagan holiday, like most holidays. And eventually we have to even stop giving these things. This is my first time really understanding Valentine's Day, because I didn't want to ruin my Valentine's Day. But now that I know, it just take the whole meaning away from it. It's all made up. Yes, it's all made up to take money from us. Every freaking holiday that I'm discovering. I don't know what holiday is next, but I'm sure, what is it, St. Patrick's Day, Easter? It's all going to be the same thing. It's always going to lead back to the Vatican, to the church, to these popes trying to control people, trying to cover up some evil ass ritual that they did. So if you see, these holidays stem from rituals that they used to do every year. But in order to continue doing these rituals, they had to cover it up with the church and make everybody do it, so it doesn't seem like it started off as something bad. But it did. And now we just celebrate it. We just give it life. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So Valentine's today means romantic love. It means self-love. It means family love, community love, roses. But always understand the history, so you don't just consume a culture that is not really true to who you are. We went from goat sacrificing to greeting cards, from pagan fields to prophet martyrs. So Valentine's Day did not start off sweet, and it definitely evolved into something else. I hope y'all learned something. What's going on in the Southeast with the Amerindians, with the laws changing? I saw something today where they are trying to open up a new Black History Museum in Florida after all these years. And I said, damn, why y'all waited all these years? Is it because the Appalachee and the Seminole and the Temecula and the Creek and the Choctaw and the Seminole and the Muskogee and all these people, our tribes are waking up? Now y'all want to do an African American museum? Why is that? But I ain't going to get into that right now. But we already know why that is. So today, guys, know who you are. The best thing you could do when it comes to self-love is knowing who the hell you truly are, and never letting the colonizer, never letting a history book, never letting a pretendian try to trick you out your spot or gaslight you or make you hate who you are. That's the purpose of colonization, is to make you hate who you are, to break your spirit, to take your soul, to make you feel worthless. And now they got this hustle culture where the kids coming out of high school, they didn't learn shit in high school. They didn't learn no financial literacy. They didn't learn any wealth building tips. They didn't learn about business. They didn't get prepared for college, which is a waste of money all of a sudden because it's so high. And people graduating with degrees and can't even afford basic life necessities. The hustle culture that is ruining the getting people out of high school, where they just gotta go to work and work 40 hours and be stuck in this cycle where they can't even have a quality of life. We are ruining the youth. We're not preparing them. And what is going to happen to our world if we don't get this shit together? Now I just got a bed and a cake, blow the candles out, feeling like LeBron James.